Let's do this. What is this?
Come on. Like, it was... Shadow... what? Okay, not too bad. Hey fellow fiction fanatics, I'm Chase. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my monthly wrap-up for September. So in September, I was able to read 7 books, so let's get into it. The first book I read was For Everyone by Jason Reynolds. This is a poem that he wrote for the Dreamers. I probably wouldn't have been inclined to read or finish this book if I hadn't been listening to Jason Reynolds recite it himself. Poetry just isn't really for me, so I think that's just a me thing. I also don't give poetry, nonfiction, or biographies or memoirs a rating just because I feel like those are too personal to the author. But this book did help me complete one of my challenges for Bookopoly-thon, which was the Dice Roulette Challenge, where I had to read a book that was as close to 100 pages as I could. And this was, I believe, 98 pages. The second book I read was Days of Blood and Starlight by Laini Taylor. So I'm absolutely loving this series, but you can't really go into it knowing too much. I feel like it's best just to go in it knowing just a tiny little bit. So all I'm gonna say is, once upon a time, an angel and a devil fell in love. It didn't end well. And if for some reason you need more than that for me to convince you to read this series, I'll just say the second book says, once upon a time, an angel and a devil held a wishbone between them, and with its snap, split the world in two. And if you know, you know. This book was just mind-blowing. We learned so much in this book. It was insane. So much happened. And I can't really talk about it without spoiling everything. Please pick this up if you haven't. I am so invested in this plot. It is insane. So much happens and it's all so intense. I absolutely love Laini Taylor's writing and these characters are just superb. I love them so much. And I have been putting this off for far too long. I didn't know I was gonna love it as much as I did. This was just mind-blowing and I was on the edge of my seat the entire time. But you know that one soundbite that's like, I'm so happy, I'm so sad. That is this book, to a T. Something good would happen and I'd be like, oh good. Oh no, it is worse. This is so much worse. But oh my gosh, am I hooked. I do not know why it's taken me this long to pick these up, but I need the next one immediately because I just need to know how things are gonna wrap up. I really hope it's good because I am loving this so far. Also sort of hating everything that's going on and I need to know what happens. So I will definitely be picking up that third book very soon. As you can tell, I gave this book 5 stars and it completed my challenge to read my most recent purchase, my English 1010 challenge for the Season-a-thon Academy, which was to read any book I wanted. And I completed my Magical Readathon challenge to read a book with bone on either the cover or the title. And since this is the second book in the Daughter of Smoke and Bone trilogy, this definitely counts. The third book I was able to read was The Witch Boy by Molly Knox Ostertag. This is the story of Aster, whose family has magic. All the girls in the family become witches, and all the boys in the family become shapeshifters and demon hunters. However, no matter how hard Aster tries, he's drawn to magic, which is forbidden. This is one of my favorite graphic novels, and is such a fun fall read. It has diverse characters, gorgeous artwork. It also has elements of friendship, mystery, and magic. So I give this book 5 stars. This was originally supposed to fulfill my Math 1010 Season-a-thon Academy challenge, which was to read a book ending with the page number of 4. I thought this book had 224 pages, but when I read it, it actually had 213 pages, and I felt like that was cheating. So instead, I picked up Narwhal Unicorn of the Sea by Ben Clanton. This book just made me laugh and smile. I just thought it was so cute and fun, and I was happy that I picked it up. So I gave this book 5 stars, and I would definitely pick it up if you have a young reader. The 5th book I read was A Spindle Splintered by Alex E. Haro. So Zinnia Gray has a rare illness that's not known too much about. The only thing that is known is that no one who has it has lived past the age 21. She's also obsessed with the tale of Sleeping Beauty. On her 21st birthday, her best friend decides to have a surprise birthday for her that is completely Sleeping Beauty themed, and when Zinnia jokingly pricks her finger on the spinning wheel, she is transported into this world and finds herself face to face with a Sleeping Beauty who is trying to escape her fate. This is another short, quick read that I did enjoy. I really liked the friendships in this one, and I really liked that this was a unique story that I hadn't really heard of before. But because it is so short, I can't really say much without spoiling it. I did like this book, but it wasn't a new favorite for me, so I gave it 4 stars. And this finally completed my Storygraph 6 challenge. I say finally because this is the 3rd book that I've tried for this challenge. I DNF'd the other 2, which were Gilded by Marissa Meyer and The Humans by Matt Haig. Those ones just weren't for me, and I'm so glad that I finally was able to pick one up that I enjoyed. The 6th book that I read was Ember and the Ice Dragons by Heather Fawcett. Ember St. George looks like a normal girl, but she's actually a dragon in disguise. However, the spell that is placed on her doesn't stop her from spontaneously bursting into flames at certain temperatures. So after one incident too many, she decides that she's going to move to Antarctica to be with her aunt for the time being. There she happens upon ice dragon hunters, and she decides that what she needs to do is join the hunters so that she can sabotage them from within and save the ice dragon. I really enjoyed the humor of this book as well as the characters. I thought they were really fun, and I have to say that the penguins were my favorite part. But overall, it took me too long to actually get into. It just didn't live up to what I was hoping. So because of these reasons, I give this book 3 stars. I do think other people would like it, but it just wasn't for me. And this completed my cold setting challenge. It also completed my magical readathon challenge, read a book with purple on the cover. And then ironically, the 7th book I read was actually The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. So for those who don't know, this book is about the Hollywood movie icon Evelyn Hugo finally decided to share her life story with this journalist who no one's really heard about. This is a really cool story because you get to see an interview of the now. We're hearing the story of the past, and there's kind of a mysterious element. You're sort of putting the pieces together and like, how does this all work out? Oh my gosh, this was so good. I could not put this down. It was so addictive. Hearing about her life was both invigorating and exasperating. Oh my gosh. The reveals, I was astounded by everything. I totally get the hype. I was kind of on the fence because everyone says they love it, and now I see why. But this is definitely an adult book, so keep that in mind going in. Overall, I gave this book 5 stars. I cannot wait to add this to my collection. And it completed my challenge to read a book with a person on the cover, History 1011 class for Seasonathon Academy, which was to read a book set in the past. And for Magical Readathon, it was to pick a book off someone else's TBR. And I'm so glad I finally picked this up. Definitely give it a go if it's been on your TBR because it really is worth the hype. So those are all the books that I was able to read in September. I kind of shocked that I was able to get to 7 books. I hadn't thought I had got to that many, so I'm very happy about all that. Let me know if you've read any of these and what you thought of them down in the comments. As always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to share the love. I'll see you next time. Bye!